there's something going on in the skies above us. Even the government isn't certain exactly what it is. Recently declassified documents show that the U.S. government has for years maintained a program that investigated the health effects of UFO encounters on those who saw them. Meanwhile, in response to the news that it's crafting a new UFO reporting system, the Navy, the U.S. Navy, has openly admitted to repeated encounters with unusual aerial objects near its bases. Nick Pope investigated UFO sightings for the UK Ministry of Defense. He's been dismissed by others as a conspiracy. It turns out he wasn't. He was totally right. And he joins us tonight. We're glad to have him. So, Nick, first to the news that the U.S. government has investigated the health effects of contact with UFOs. What does that mean?
Well, this is a part of the Pentagon's ATIP program that studied these unexplained phenomena, and it's a part that we haven't heard much about. Everyone's been concentrating on the videos of the Navy jets chasing the UFOs, but if you go back to Harry Reid's letter to the Department of Defense, he describes this in terms of the human interface and human effects aspect of the program. And then more recently, when the DIA wrote to Congress about this, in amongst all the papers on exotic propulsion systems that they produced was a paper entitled Field Effects on Biological Tissues. And it seems as if what they were interested in is the effects of all this on the people that witnessed it. And I understand that this involved, for example, things like blood samples, DNA tests, and other medical tests and procedures.
So, I mean, what this really tells us is that UFO encounters are so common that they worried about the health effects of those encounters on Americans. So there's really no question that the U.S. government has known for a long time that something profound is going on. I'm not saying they know what it is, but they've lied about that. Why have they lied about that for so long? It's bewildering.
Well, I think there are very difficult defense and national security issues here, and there is also this blurring of the lines. We don't know, we really don't, whether with some of these things we're talking about Russians, Chinese, or something from, shall we say, farther afield than that. And so there's embarrassment. The other point is you can't say we've lost control of our own airspace. But I did a cold case review on a case in the UK where it turned out some military witnesses were probably exposed to UAP radiation. Now, UAP is the British government term for UFO, unidentified aerial phenomena, and these people are now trying to get medical settlements for health issues that they attribute to these close encounters.
It's almost like there's a whole kind of parallel worlds going on where these stories are addressed, but the rest of us are not even aware of it. And we sort of know that there are these UFO nuts, but it turns out lots of sober, well-educated people have been devoting an awful lot of time to studying this stuff for decades. And I'm just amazed that we didn't know.
Well, the Ministry of Defense was studying it, the Department of Defense here and the Defense Intelligence Agency, and of course, as you said in your introduction, just last week the Navy have announced a new policy on this to encourage their pilots and their radar operators to come forward and speak out, to destigmatize it. I support that. It's unfortunate that we're not going to get, apparently, the data that's actually produced under this. I hope we can get unclassified summaries, and I certainly hope we can get, for example, a copy of the guidance that they say they've just issued on this, because that will give us some clues as to what's going on here.
Why the hell isn't the Today Show leading with this every morning for the next 10 years? Is there a more interesting story? I don't think there is. Nick Pope, I know you agree with that. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely I do. And look, you know, if the Navy want to diffuse all this UFO hysteria, all they have to say is, look, we're just talking about aircraft and drones, but they don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. Telling. Nick Pope, great to see you tonight. Thank you.